Hello everybody! If you've been missing me for a long time, well, here I am again. It's me, it's the podcast. It's not the podcast, it's a video cast. No, it's just me, streaming for a while, but you will be able to, of course, watch this later on. If you so desire, I chose the most attractive, the best possible time of the day, of course, to talk to you today about different things related to Netrunner and the community, obviously. This is gonna be the News Now hour number 2. Probably gonna be less than an hour. Can you imagine in the far future with all the rapidness? With all the speed that I totally pulled off a mirage here from what's his name? Apex Legends. Anyway, can you imagine with the velocity of news and discussion in the future, not like next week, but like in, let's say, 50 years, a news channel or a news program that would take an hour? What a waste of time. You could probably just download everything in a matter of nanoseconds and know everything forever, and probably in the process you would lose your mind or go a bit weird, but hey. Anyway, rapidity! There we go, indeed. SCD. Hello, SCD. SCD. There we go. I haven't had my coffee today, just yet. Or maybe, actually, I had several, and this is the problem. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about, or I'm going to be delivering to you a bunch of news. And that's gonna be the story here. You may have seen the last one. Well, now it's time for the current one. So let's just go straight into the News Now hour, or thereabouts, more or less, because it's not gonna be an hour. Number 2. Of course, this all might be partially humorous and fictional. Chances are some of it is actually not true, but, well, you get to choose what to believe. This is the 21st century, and the thinking is on you. But if you want any official and actual scoops about anything that some people called Nisei are doing, go to nisei.net. Otherwise, everything else can be found online in different formats, places, and locations, and it's up to you to, you know, dig it up and enjoy. Okay, let's start with... is working actually. Nisei is absolutely legit scoop updates. So a bit of scoops, a bit of updates. They're absolutely legit. You can trust me, right? I mean, you should totally trust me. I know what I'm talking about. First of all, the Caps Lock intern is actually back, sort of. So you may have noticed that there's an increased activity on Nisei's Twitter account, and there's definitely something behind it. There's the Caps Lock intern, previously rumored to have actually been sent to the mines on Luna, on the moon, the Helium-3 mines, but no, he's back, he's completely back. Of course, there are certain issues with the presentation, you know, the typical, the traditional Caps Lock intern text might look a bit differently than what you're seeing right now on Project Nisei's Twitter account. But honestly, we all know the truth, right? I mean, let's be honest. You can see it for yourself. Just go to twitter.com/projectnisei. And I'm just giving you a screenshot here. Do you see the Q1 here? It's all caps, right? Right? So, yeah, just, you know, hear me out and keep following the news there, the updates there, and you will see how many caps just get spammed there. It all starts with just caps being used for the first letter in a sentence, and certain places like, you know, certain words are being put on caps. But let me tell you, this is going to actually escalate. Trust me. Find the truth indeed, fake news indeed, all of it fake. Speaking of real news, new art posted by Nisei is blamed for the global cold spell. Basically, there's a new ice wall alt art ice wall as delivered by Zoe Cohen. You may have seen it on the site. It proves way too cool for Earth's climate system, and we had a bunch of people, climate specialists, and people generally eager to have an actual summer, pressuring the Nisei art team to release warmer and milder art to prompt a positive change in global climate tendencies. So definitely a piece of art that's way too cool for its own good, and it's causing a shift in the temperature around the world. And you may have seen for the last few weeks terrible news about winter just striking all over the place. So this is basically to blame. Keep pressuring folks to release warmer art, right? In other news, New art is blamed for global warming. So the new punitive Counter-Strike alt art, as delivered by Zoe Cohen, proves too hot to handle for some climate systems on this planet. Climate specialists and people eager to have an actual summer without being scorched to death are pressuring the Nisei art team to release cooler and less incendiary art to prompt a positive change in global climate tendencies. And again, you know, art is to blame here, clearly. This is way too hot. I mean, the flames reflecting in the glasses of this person, which, by the way, totally looks like a certain person from a certain series on a certain network, and I'm loving that fact. But anyway, we definitely need cooler art than this. This is way too hot, and too many flames, and the ice caps are melting, you know, cats are shedding their fur. This is a tragedy. Please fix it. Moving on. The Nisei OP, as in organized play, boat trouble is spreading. So this is, again, behind the scenes, you know, insider knowledge. Our stealthy correspondent Bev Kilray Chang reports from the front lines that the fact that the organized play folks at Nisei did not manage to get a boat during over 2 years of operating is finally taking its toll and, on other parts of the organization. Proof? Well, first of all, there's the 2020 Series Continentals Intercontinentals prize delay, and that is a thing when you don't get a boat, you know, like that's basically what happens. You put pictures of a boat online and people expect boats, no boats for the organized play team. I'm sorry, things are happening. And then Morgan, also known as Anzekai, one of the people behind new cards and a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes and stuff that's hopefully going to show up quite soon if there only was a boat, telling straight the way it is, you know, on Twitter as well. That face when a giant boat is giving your playtesting a real headache. So please, if you have a big boat to spare and you want to support Nisei, I think you should talk to some people from Nisei and give them the boat, or maybe give them a tip about getting cheap big boats somewhere, because they definitely need a big boat, okay? Just saying. Also, and this is quite shocking, Bioroids are taking over at Nisei. Well, I mean, there's a question mark there, because we have unconfirmed rumors that Bioroids are actually taking over certain parts of content production at Nisei, for example, card layouts, due to the general fact of being better, faster, stronger, and other things you can find in songs by Daft Punk. Basically, the average Nisei human cannot keep up with the absolutely non-average Nisei Bioroid. I don't know if they're branded. This is all, of course, rumors. We have no idea what's going on. So we will be sending our field correspondent, Edward, also known as Hammer Time Kim, to investigate these claims and probably report back to you if there's anything to report back to you with. Now, let's go to getting a grip. So, basically, what we're going to be getting a grip of is the community. What's going on? Well, the Discord's main Netrunner channel, the green level clearance, or channel server, excusez-moi, is still probably the best Discord server you can join for all things related to Netrunner on a global scale. And I'm not kidding, there's people from all over the place there. You can find players helping you in your first steps online, offline, if you are lucky enough to actually be able to play offline. And basically talking shop and many other aspects of the game itself, the community, the lore, all that fun stuff. New developments, recent developments is getting a drafts channel for fans of air moving throughout your house, and also fun formats for the game. And quite a lot of new people joining recently. So hello to everybody, super happy to have you on board, and GLC continues to deliver the great community feel we all need, especially in these dark times. Speaking of which, there are two channels. One of them is called Spoilers, the other one is called Spoilers Discussion, where you just discuss the spoilers. This is not about car parts, this is basically about upcoming things, and yeah, there are certain hunches pointing towards the fact that these two channels might become quite busy in the next few weeks. No more spoilers, no more scoops, just stick around. As for Reddit, which is the other great community we have online, or at least I am on and I can report from, two cool images that I spotted there recently. One of them by a user, and there's a username that probably points to them being a Bioroid, but this is probably the only acceptable kind of cake in New Angeles. I mean, look at that beauty. It's a tiramisu, by the way. I honestly, if I was to get this as a birthday cake, I would not share it with anybody because it's just way too good. So, you know, I mean, I'm a fan of tiramisu, I'm a fan of Jackson Howard, who isn't? So yeah, I just need to find a recipe and somebody who can make it happen, I guess. And then an image delivered by Colorbomb, one of the users on the Reddit, on the subreddit for Netrunner, saying, well, yeah, this is the way you actually access HQ, and this is basically very... Well, I feel pointed at here, and I don't mean the character in the image, but this is my experience. I'm the person in the blue shirt here. I'm the person picking the card. The other person, usually my opponent, not even playing Jinteki, just playing Netrunner. That's what happens all the flippin' time. But way more on, of course, reddit.com/r/Netrunner. Go over there, a lot of threads. I'm not gonna put them all here because that's what the website's for, right? Stemhack.com. There's a new great article titled No Deck is an Island, Tech in Context, by somebody called Whiteblade111, who seems to be a fairly new player from Canada, I think. Basically, also a techno fan or a technology fan, because the sections of the article are an introduction to teching, teching as a silver bullets, teching as archetype tech, teching as economy choices, and an example of teching in practice. I was thinking, maybe it's connected to techo, which is, the roof in Spanish, for example, but it seems to be all about putting the right cards into your deck so that actually you have a better chance to win at Netrunner, which is, impossible if you keep accessing snares when you're me. But basically, yeah, there is a new piece of content on stemhack.com, so you should totally go and check it out. And there's also the forums. There is a trading thread on the forums, and people there are still trading in regular paper and tokens rather than stocks. So I don't know what's going on there. This seems to be, it used to be the hottest thread all over the place, but apparently not just yet. Well, anyway, do check forum.stemhack.com and do participate in the community there. Really curious about that article. I should probably read it. It's probably going to teach me how to not basically access snares, right? Moving on, I still need a Facebook correspondent. I am not on Facebook. I have no idea what's going on Facebook. I do know that there are communities on Facebook. If you want to let me know what's happening on Facebook, do send me an email, vesper@cyberpunk.me. I am going to include it in the next edition of this, which is going to happen in around a month, more or less. I'm doing these on a monthly basis so far, and this is number 2, so, I can already talk about a tradition. But I still have no access to Facebook, and I choose not to. But if you're one of the brave hackers, brave people putting your faces and books on Facebook, please get in touch and help me out there, because maybe there's something cool happening on Facebook. I wouldn't know. I'm just, too silly. Oh, scoops from Facebook, from SCD. Facebook is mainly people making jokes about FFG credit tokens right now. Fair enough. I mean, that would be cool to probably follow. Well, anyway, I'm not getting a Facebook account. You're not gonna trick me into this. But well, let's move on into the show and tell biz, where we are going to discuss podcasts. So we still have Time Traveler's Guide to Netrunner by Simon Moon, which is a podcast dedicated to answering the hypothetical question, if you could travel back in time to compete in Netrunner tournaments, what should you play at each one? And the most recent podcast is starting to discuss Worlds 2015, so it's 6 years back, 6 years worth, of cards and new things happening and meta changes and so on. But you get to learn or relive or, reshape your memories based on Simon Moon's experience about everything from the end of 2013, the Worlds tournament in 2013, to the start of Worlds 2015. So if you're nostalgic, this is kind of the equivalent of being nostalgic about the 80s. No Netrunner in the 80s, but if you're nostalgic about the good old days, do go in there, do find a Time Traveler's Guide to Netrunner. Enjoy the episodes, they're definitely worth it. They're definitely quite comprehensive, I would say. Moving on, the ShadowNet ANR, the casual yet vulgar Android Netrunner discussions focus on the meta, tournament scene, and broader Netrunner community, anything Netrunner related, is being creatively bankrupt, as they actually lovingly admit, and deliver the retrieval run JNet time with apparently me and Noah the Duke. So if you want to listen to me and Noah the Duke talk about JNet in some detail, but also basically about being a JNet dev, how JNet ticks and clicks and works, do check out the lovingly put together ShadowNet ANR repost with new content coming up, I hear. Apparently, maybe they just had a lot of the bake-off stuff and they're just, too lazy to do something new. But anyway, greetings to them, and moving on. Slumscast by Neuropanzer and Orbital Tangent, which is a podcast about trying to be good at Netrunner and not being good at Netrunner, have invited to episode 7 the big Unit 3000, one of the most notorious players, talking about Jinteki potential slum leashed. So if you want to hear about all things Jinteki, PE, and not only, as discussed by people who actually know how Jinteki works, and they make you access all their snares, and not only snares, do head over to the Slumscast. You can find them online in all the possible podcast shoppes online, and just enjoy their digital deliberations in recorded format. Also, oh yeah, this is Slumscast? No, it shouldn't be Slumscast. It should be the Kitchen Table Netrunner. What is this? Broken slides, please. Anyway, they're on a well-deserved break right now. We're waiting for the episode number 22 to drop any day now, but the KTNR folks are still podcasting about Christmas, so that's like last year's stuff. But they're gonna be coming soon with new content, and this is the Kitchen Table Netrunner, not Slumscast. The person putting these slides together will be summarily fired, just saying. Also, a huge and warm welcome to theprocess.org. This is an actual new website with the address you can see on the screen right now, the-process.org, which is a group of like-minded Netrunner players attempting to openly document the deck building and testing process for an entire year. This is a fairly new development. This is not an actual photo of the folks, but I think looking at the list of names here, they might look like this. We have Mike P, Binary Dogs, Nememiah, Chris Ferg, and Slick Henry. And I've never heard of these names. You know, I don't think they competed in any tournaments. So maybe it's just a bunch of new players testing the decks and just going like, hey, look, I have a cool noise deck. Woo! Look at me. I'm trashing. But anyway, if you're into probably a really well developed, and this is gonna be more serious now, a really well developed, well documented well-documented process of testing stuff and building decks and changing stuff according to the meta and whatnot, with actually some really good players. With a question like, is that Dyer in the middle? He's ripped. Yeah, people are ripped in here. I'm pretty sure that this is an actual photo just turned into an image just to fool, the others. But yeah, those 5 people listed here, they do know their Netrunner, so definitely theprocess.org should be on your bookmarks list. You should visit it. They have quite a few things in there already. Do go and check it out. Moving on, just a reminder, and actually right now playing in the background from that very album, this is Armed Intimidation from Always Be Running number 2, if I remember correctly. ABR3 is coming up in 2021. Do visit tribmer.bandcamp.com, and there are 2 previous installments of the series available for your listening pleasure. You can support the artist by getting the album as well. ABR3 is coming up. I'm really curious and hyped about the music coming. And then, hello there, Net Jogging. Moving on into the alt arts, and a disclaimer before I get in there. Damn you, Apex, you ate all of Artist Colony before I managed to document the glory happening in there, so I only have 2 reports. Gah. Anyway, we have more Omar by the lady who was mean to me. So yeah, Alexis Spicer, you may know her. She made a custom Omar Keying alt art. And this is what I got to spot. It's quite cool. There are still some unbroken keyboards. Please note the really cool retro touch of a keyboard attached with an actual cable. But yeah, this was done for Greyfield, I assume, and it's an alt art that's probably not going to be entering any circulation. So this screenshot of a photo is the closest you're going to get to actually owning one ever, I guess. But it's really cool, so maybe the lady who was mean to me, also known as Alexis, an absolutely amazing human being, but a bit mean to some people, could put up a version of it somewhere online. I don't know. Net Jogging, please refrain from spamming caps because my bot is gonna be totally sick at you. So anyway. Also, the other thing that I did manage to save from Apex's Maw is No One Home by Luke Van Ryn. And this looks really cool. The Kennex bit is quite a nice touch. It looks absolutely simple and yet super stylish. So yeah, if you're looking forward to getting one of these, look around. This could be already somewhere on the nets. Maybe sneakdoor.wordpress.com will have more information about it, but you should totally jump on that address and take a look at this particular very nice No One Home. For a whopping $0, it could be yours, I guess, if you manage to tag it and then deliver some net damage to it. No idea what the UPC code does. I'm not gonna scan it because I don't want to get tagged. Do you want to get tagged? Go ahead and scan the code. Moving onwards, and the sports metal. So of course, let's talk about the results. A quick round of congratulations to the top players at lockdown number 11, which happened yesterday. And that was not by Snoopy. Why is there Snoopy? That was me. Well, I just left Snoopy's name in there because I'm a silly person. Anyway, Here won the whole tournament with NBN and Sunny, with an amazing comeback from the lower bracket in the lockdown format. Do take a look at the stream or at the recording of it, actually. It's somewhere there online. I guess it's on somebody's Twitch, maybe even the same one you're watching right now if you're watching this on Twitch. Otherwise, do look for lockdown number 11 on ABR. And interesting games there, especially the top 4, but before that, quite a few interesting games in a very different format if you like your custom formats. Also, the Itinerant Protesters by Anarcho Mushroom have finished as well, and Pinzel, a player who apparently is quite good with HB and Criminals, managed to win the whole thing. Then we had the Stay True to Your Colors by Longy. This was also online, happening this Saturday, so basically 2 days ago, with Mildesorte winning with HB and Shaper. And the True Colors format, I put it here as a format. I don't know if it's going to be the official name for the format. I'm kind of pushing for it. Might be coming back, might not be coming back. The team behind it, the Moravia, the self-modifying code, what was South Moravia contingent? That's what they're called. that group of players from the Czech meta, from the Slovak meta, from basically the South meta of Central Europe, are looking around on Slack, and not only, for feedback regarding the format, and maybe they're gonna bring it back. It would be lovely. It was a very interesting event with really cool decks coming together as well. Ocarina number 3 with 2 installments, as organized by the ever mighty Sanjay, who's very good at posting intimidating videos, apparently, especially directed to Pinzel. If you haven't seen that video, do watch. Just look for Itinerant Protesters promo. It's somewhere there in the socials or on YouTube, and it's quite something to watch. I loved it. Anyway, Sokka actually won both editions, not editions, but both installments of Ocarina 3, with Jinteki and Shaper and with Wayland and Shaper, in the Ocarina format, which has so many cool IDs that I will not be able to ever enumerate them here. But none of the standard IDs are available in that format. It's just custom IDs made from resources and agendas. So if Ocarina tickles your fancy, you should totally play an Ocarina 4, which hopefully is going to be coming soon. Remote Access 9, Salvage Memories by Swan, with Longy winning the field with Jinteki and Shaper. And Same Old Lang Syne, the first Eternal Event 2021, baby, by QDiva. Krusty managed to eke out the win there with Jinteki and Anarch. Probably very, very, very disgusting decks in Eternal, because this is Eternal, right? So anything goes. Curious about the games. Maybe we're gonna have them available using some replay features from JNet. By the way, you should totally check the replay feature. Maybe I should make a stream about that, because I've never used it before. I haven't used it just yet. I might have a stream for people trying to test this, and I want to see it in action, and I'm gonna be terribly boring and whatnot. But anyway, last but not least, Treasure of the Hunts by Necro. Odo managed to win with HB and Shaper. Odo playing Shaper, never happened. Must have been smoke, huh? Anyway, there were more events happening, of course, recently, but I just have one slide for this. There's a, budget cut here, so I cannot really provide you with another slide for this. You just have to be happy with one slide only. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. We are living in hard times, and basically a lot of fake news around as well. These are the only real news in the whole presentation here, in the whole news now hour number 2 for your viewing pleasure. And some of the upcoming events in February 2021, because there might be some new popping up, or some of these might be changing, or who knows what's gonna happen. We're still in a pandemic, I hear, globally, so who knows what's gonna happen. Basically, we have the Async Sweeps Week Asynchronous Tourney happening today, starting today, I believe. Do check alwaysberunning.net for more news about this. We have the GLC Netrunner 2 1 out of 2 Genesis, or is this actually the 1st of, sorry, the 2nd of February? Or the 1st of February? Depending on the notation, right? Anyway, we're getting half of Genesis, I assume, as part of GLC's Netrunner 2 tournament. We have the Diaper Association's virtual experience, an online G&K coming up. We have archival footage, which seems to be a tournament with a very interesting name. Remote access number 10 for System Gateway. System Gateway? Is that a scoop? When is that happening? Do they know something we don't? Remote access 11 for the Gamescape Store Championship. That's in San Francisco, yeah. So that's actually a physical tournament. I wonder if they're going to be streaming this online. And versus number 1, excuse me, with NBN versus Shaper. Is this happening? Is this happening? You should ask the organizer, who happens to be me. But the thing is, I'm still waiting for people to sign up, and I'm kind of mulling over the future of this format, or actually the way of presenting this format. So who knows? It might be happening, it might not be happening, it might be changing from NBN versus Shaper to something else. It might be a different format, I don't know, but I definitely like the idea. I'm gonna be mulling over this idea of an event series over the next few days, and maybe giving you some updates later on in this month of February, which happens to start today. Hooray, February, welcome to February. That is it? No, of course not. We have the remotest of servers. So, we have Team Covenant talking dead games, and they have a very, very cool podcast out. Actually, the last 2 podcasts are cool, and this is like number 161 and number 162, I believe. So they have literally dozens upon dozens of podcasts. And if you've never heard of Team Covenant, they're a bunch of really cool people playing games a lot, like over the last quarter of a century, I kid you not. And their most recent one is basically talking about a very interesting subject, not only to my heart, but to, I think, a lot of us and a lot of people in the industry, the so-called gaming industry, and in the gaming culture. And the big summary that I put here, by chopping a ton of that passage into a phrase that still makes sense. We've grown up in a world of our favorite games being discontinued, but does it have to be this way? And wouldn't we all be better off if it wasn't? And basically, they have a great and inspiring chat at teamcovenant.com/podcast. Do give it a listen. I strongly, strongly recommend this to anybody, whether you're a player, a game designer, a game publisher, anybody around games, a game player only, for example. You know, you're not really like developing anything, but you're enjoying games, and this is very important, right? Games don't make fun if nobody's enjoying them. So anyway, do listen to that. And speaking of dead games, Dicebreaker talks dead games too. So the folks at Dicebreaker, they have a YouTube channel where they talk, for example, about games that they wish weren't out of print. And again, a big summary here. We've lost a lot of great games when they've gone out of print and publishers have stopped supporting them. So here's 4 that we wish could come back or would come back. You may guess what one of them is. You should go and check what the other 3 are. But basically, the Dicebreaker folks are discussing their favorite games and they're talking about, well, what happened and why the games are cool and why they wish they would come back and what's going on right now. So do give them a listen. They're on YouTube. You can see that little icon there when I was taking the screenshot of a YouTube video, obviously. So head over to YouTube, look for Dicebreaker. I wonder if they have actual video casts of, you know, taking physical dice and just chopping them into pieces, for example. I don't know. That would be a cool video. It's probably hard to chop a die. Well, anyway. SCD in the chat saying, one is Netrunner, the other 3 are ONR. So original Netrunner, Infiltration, and New Angeles. Yeah, just in case. Well, I think New Angeles was an Infiltration were one-off, so they're kind of dead on delivery. I don't know. It's yeah, but it's a cool guess, of course, and of course semi-series as well. But yeah, cool guesses there. Anyway, that is it for the News Now Hour, or thereabouts number 2. So yeah, if you have any slow, yeah, I should totally bring the slide back. If you have any fun or slow news to share and you want to contribute, contact me at vesper@cyberpunk.me. Any official scoops, whatever, and all that stuff, go to nisei.net. I have no scoops for you. Do you have any scoops for me? Send them my way. Okay? Basically, that was it for today. If you want me to do something cool, you know where to find me. You can also visit my website at vesper.cyberpunk.me. and it's semi-updated. It's going to have more stuff soon. Hopefully, I'm working on, enriching and enlarging my news media empire and taking over half of the internet with just my presence, which is, of course, totally possible, given my overbearing dominance in the media sphere. And in the meantime, of course, also check the nearearthhub.net website, check the Metropole Grid, check all the other streams happening right now. We have quite a lot of people joining the streaming world. We have Rask, for example, streaming games. We have Anarcho Mushroom streaming games. We have Sanjay doing stuff on Twitch. Basically, enjoy, go around all the communities, go around all the different places on the web and make the game known to others, share it with others, build a community, be cool the way you are. Sir Loading, hello there, what's this? I think this is the end, my friend. I'm heading off to do my own stuff, but basically I'm jumping out. Baramu, more Vesper is good, Vesper, I know, but I'm trying to lose some weight, so hey, guess what? I'm heading off, and I wish you all a great week, and yeah, you can watch the video when it starts being live, because it's probably going to be posted online. That's the whole idea here. Ciao!